So I really feel sort of a need to make up for my admittedly somewhat less than stellar performance yesterday. So today we'll try hand on a C3 and I will be a little more resilient than yesterday, I hope. We are in a 6 no Trump contract. I'm not necessarily saying I'm good at playing no Trump, but I sort of like it since the, you can at least split the tricks that you need to achieve into the suits quite nicely, which isn't directly able in a Trump contract. And also we are at the 6th level, so we can't afford too many losers, meaning there isn't all too much wiggle room. Let's see. So we have one short trick in spades, three short tricks in clubs. There's also no potential for anything more in clubs. It's just three tricks. Two short tricks in diamonds, which is six, and four, but four and most likely five tricks in hearts. Unless hearts split 5-1 or 6-0. So there is one trick missing regardless. Now this one trick could come from, it can't come from clubs, since after three tricks of clubs we're both out of clubs. It can't come from hearts, since I already calculated 5 heart tricks. So it needs to come either from spades or from diamonds. Diamond seems diamond seems somewhat realistic in case diamonds split. Uh, in case diamonds split 3-2, because then we can just give up a diamond trick and the last diamond will be good. So the contract isn't in jeopardy at all if diamond split 3-2 and heart split no worse than 4-2. It's pretty much a lay-down contract in that case, so we shouldn't assume that. And the one thing of those two which is most likely to fail is the diamonds. I mean, heart splitting 5-1 is way more unlikely than diamond splitting 4-1. So our fortune be how do we handle a 4-1 diamond break? There is also the possibility for a spade finesse to the queen. So like play the 5 of spades from dummy and hope that East has the king. So if East plays the king, then well, our queen is good, and if East ducks, yeah, we win our queen. Now, of course, that could also fail, and the king of diamonds could be with West. Are there any hints from the auction? I don't think so, unfortunately. West plays a diamond against 6 trump, probably from sequence. So West is most likely to have the jack and possibly also the 10 of diamonds. So if diamonds break 4-1, I strongly suspect it to be with West, since you don't lead shortness against no trump. That doesn't make much sense. So there are various competing ideas here. Well, we can't just watch what East plays. East plays the 4. So I was already wondering about the 4, if that card has any significance, since we don't have one card in the middle of a long sequence with the 4 of diamonds. But apparently it has no significance, since it's already played on trick 1. So the 3 outstanding diamonds are the 9, the 10, and the jack. They are all higher than our low diamonds. So we have a sure diamond loser if we continue the suit. Possibly even two. So like if diamonds break for one and I would test the diamonds, I would play a low one immediately. So that if they break for one, we still have some other chances. And we are down immediately because if we play king, the ace and king right now, then well, if diamonds break for one, the opponents have two immediate diamond tricks. So, should we win this or should we duck this? I mean, it would be sort of natural to duck it, but that would also limit our possibilities in the other suits going forward, since we cannot play the spade finesse anymore, for example, since we cannot afford to lose a trick. So playing on the 3-1, 3-2 diamond break is actually something I'm not quite happy to resort to just yet, especially given West's diamond lead. So I'm inclined to take this and maybe not continue diamonds at all and try some other suits first. And of course, I'm already looking at squeezes. What about this? So somehow I really want to play the 5 of spades from dummy, but with the ace still there, so that if the if the finesse fails and West wins the king of spades, that he cannot cash a spade trick after that immediately. This is sort of tempting, so I need to unblock the heart suit first. So my incline would be to win the ace of diamonds right now, play 2 rounds of hearts to unblock the suit, and then switch to like the queen of clubs as an entry, and play the 5 of spades from dummy. And if East now plays low, there's a question. Do I want to play low or do I want to play the queen? Because if I don't play the queen, well, then I don't need to switch to dummy in the first place. Then I could just play low out of my hand right away and duck a spade. I mean that this is like the sort of simple thing about no Trump contracts, in my opinion. That the extra trick, the 12th trick, just has to come from either spades or diamonds. There's no other option. Hearts and clubs are out of the race. So if we, there were also no threat cards in either hearts or clubs, since I already calculated 5 heart tricks and 3 club tricks. So if a squeeze were to be performed at some stage, it would have to involve both spades and diamonds, because squeezes require 2 suits at least. Now the diamond squeeze, if there is one, would obviously have to be against West. But the spade squeeze is also like. It's also quite likely against West, to be honest. Which is good, but the thing I'm thinking about is where do the threat cards lie? Because in order for a squeeze to really function, we would theoretically need to have a threat card in South as well as a threat card in the other suit in North. So North is short in spades, so South's threat should be in spades, meaning North should threaten the diamonds, so that we can maybe discard our diamonds from hand at some point. Now, in order for a squeeze to have any chance, I need to play my loser first. Like a squeeze usually only matures with only one loser. So I need to relinquish a trick either in spades or in diamonds. And losing this trick should also establish the threat in that suit only with rest. Like I want I want I want to duck in a trick in a suit so that East doesn't have a threat in that suit anymore. Or doesn't guard that suit anymore, I should say. Can that be achieved? Yes. I mean, it can. Well, the only way I sort of see this is if we like keep the Queen of Spades as a threat card. So duck a spade trick maybe. Or even don't duck it. I don't really think that matters all that much. We need to worry about entries, of course. I don't really see how ducking a spade would actually help me. Because even if spade split like 4-3, East still guards it. So the only way to isolate the guard in one of the defender's hands would be to keep the Queen of Spades as a threat card, because then at least only the one who has the king can guard the suit. So maybe don't touch the spade suit at all. Of course we can duck this diamond. The question is, what do we actually do if West then switches to spades, let's say. Because I sort of need to keep the Queen of Clubs as an entry in that scenario, which is not really what I want. What I actually would like to do is, yes, duck a diamond trick. Because losing the trick in spades doesn't accomplish all that much. Since we are not establishing a length trick in spades. We surely have to win an extra trick with the queen on power, I guess. either by finessing or by squeezing. So I'm tempted to just win this. Play the two hearts to unblock, at least unblock the heart suit first. And then maybe duck a diamond trick. Because ducking a diamond trick makes the contract basically a laydown in case diamond split. And also I can immediately evaluate if diamond split or not. Because that second diamond round, well, if both defenders follow, we can draw the last diamond with the king. Yeah. Now I don't see another option. Let's win this and play 2 rounds of hearts. Both defenders follow suit. So heart splitting 5-1 is no longer an issue. Which is already good to know. So we have 3 sure heart tricks in dummy. So we need to establish only one more trick. And my first try, and it's only a first try to note, but my first try now would be to duck a diamond to rest. Yeah, they split 4-1, so that was the thing I was sort of after. So West now guards the diamond suit. And now's the question, who has the king of spades? And from West's play, I have a strong feeling it's East. Which isn't good news in either case, because even if I win the ace, well, I could finesse immediately and just lose if East has the king. But even if we win the ace, like a squeeze isn't really going to materialize since West guards one suit and East the other. And there's no potential in any suit other than spades or diamonds. So I think this was wrong. I mean, if East has the king, we are basically doomed either way. So let's just try the finesse. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay, we need to rethink this. Hard. This wasn't it. So I'm still pretty sure I need to win this first trick, basically, because if I duck this diamond now, where East switches to spade, and then I'm in the same predicament I was in the previous hand. So maybe I need to duck a low spade. Then I can at least catch a doubleton king with East. Although the doubleton king with East is highly unlikely. Since that would mean West would have 5 spades and he would have probably led spades instead of diamonds. Well, I know the 5-card spade suit in West wouldn't have any values. So maybe he would prefer diamonds with his Queen Jack 10 sequence. Hard to say. Is there any other plan I'm missing? I mean, there are five sure heart tricks. There are 3 sure club tricks. Which is 8. There's nothing. And there's no further potential in any of these suits. So we need to either win. So we have two diamond tricks and a spade trick for sure, and we need to either win a second spade trick or a third diamond trick. Now, my other inkling actually was to win this trick in hand, unblock the hard suit like I did in the previous attempt. I would do that, and then I would actually just duck around the spades. Because then at least both opponents are one card shorter in spades. And maybe that would help me establish a length trick in spades. Not really sure it does though. I could also have the additional chance of a spade finesse, which is actually what I probably would do if I were under time pressure in a real bridge hand, like winning this in hand, unblocking the heart, switching to the queen of clubs, and just play the five of spades, and if East plays low, win it with the queen. And hope that East has the king, and if not, if West has the king, well, then we need to hope for a squeeze of some sort. But I'm pretty sure that it did. So, because then I don't really have a spade threat anymore. I mean, yes, 2 rounds of spades have been played, but it's very unlikely that East doesn't got a third round of spades as well. So West can probably just discard all of his spades without any problem. Is there any squeeze possibility against East? I mean, surely not. The only suit that East needs to guard is possibly spades. I mean, he doesn't need to guard clubs because there is no threat in clubs. He doesn't need to guard hearts, and he doesn't have diamonds. So East can just throw away everything except for his spades. If East has like king third of spades or something like that. It's the scenario I'm currently most thinking about, but even then, unfortunately, I don't have any other value cards in spades. Like, if I at least had like a 10 or something additional to the queen, at least I could try to force out some cards from East. But the queen is my only value except for the sure ace trick, of course. That one I already counted in the 11 sure tricks. So is it really just a simple 5 of spades finesse? It seems very dubious. Well, let's have one other try of... Well, unblocking the hearts first basically can't be wrong. Also, we can immediately test if we have a 5-1 distribution, which is a nice thing to check for. Now we just saw that West returning a spade is a problem in case we give West a diamond trick. And if we give East a spade trick, that's also no good. So that's just duck a spade immediately. He returns a spade, right? Now, unfortunately, the king of spades is still there. we could again test the diamonds, but they were now well, they could even split 3-2 now since we already lost the spade trick. That's not good either. Well, we're a dummy, so we could just catch the hearts. But yeah, I will keep the diamond threat in north, possibly. So pitch 2 of my low diamonds as well as a spade. But they can both safely discard their clubs. I mean, yes, I can unblock the king of diamonds now. But then what? And who turns up with the king of spades in the end? And now the diamonds do split because we already forfeited the spade trick. We can switch in clubs and catch our 2 club tricks, but the last one won't be ours. Yes, and the king is now with rest. So we need to be a little more delicate. Ah. Is there any merit to just playing our hearts winners first without touching spades? Or diamonds? I mean, at least they have to make some pitches at that point, which is good. I'm also actually, the more I think about it, quite tempted to just play the ace king of diamonds right away. Because if there's a 3-2 distribution, I can just now continue the diamond suit without having to worry about spades anymore. And if there's a 4-1 distribution, well, at least I know who has the 4 diamonds now, and I can sort of try to avoid giving this person a trick. And without touching the spades, I keep some of my options open, maybe. Yeah, so let's try it. I mean, I should really be a lot quicker in these videos. So let's just play 2 rounds of hearts again. That possibly cannot be wrong. Maybe now just play the king of diamonds as well. So each shows out, so now I know that West is the dangerous player in the diamond suit. This is good to know. And also I can now just pitch my diamonds from south. I don't need them anymore. Which is good, because if North now plays his hearts, I need some discards for my own hand. East already discarded the spade. Noted. So which discards will West discards clubs? That's not all that interesting now. Another club discard from West. Another double club discard. So there hasn't been 1 diamond pitched yet, so we cannot play diamonds, unfortunately. But I'm really tempted to just go for the ace king of clubs. There goes a spade from West. There goes another spade from West. So West might even be out of spades at this point. And the question is, does he still have a club? Not really sure. Because if East doesn't, well, then I can just switch to the Ace of Spades and play a spade through East. But I don't think East would be that ignorant. He probably has a club. No, he doesn't. Alright. Okay, so what prevented East from keeping a club? I mean, I sort of like this strategy in hindsight. I should have come up with that way earlier because at least it puts the opponents under pressure. If you don't really have a clear plan what to do, it's often just in no-trump contracts, often really just the best to catch your winners, but also, and that's important, it's not just playing your winners, it's also keeping the most flexibility in the other suits. So, in this case, well, we needed, if we catch our winners in hearts, for example, we need to make a few discards from south. So, playing the king of diamonds first actually gave us the opportunity to pitch our two diamonds from south, which is adds something to the flexibility since we weren't forced to make that many spade pitches, which we don't really want to do. Like one spade pitch is okay, but not more than that. And we didn't want to touch the spade suit to have our options available, like playing the 5 from dummy or playing a low spade from hand first, or whatever. Yeah, I sort of like this plan a lot, actually. And playing the king of diamonds sort of seems like it exposes us in diamonds, but at least if diamonds, well, at least we're immediately there. If we see that diamonds split 3-2, in that case we just unblock our heart suit first, of course, and then use a diamond trick, and the final diamond is good. Use a diamond trick. And if diamonds split for 1, yes, one opponent has 2 winners in hand, but he also needs to keep them both, which puts him under pressure. Since if he pitches one of those diamond winners, I can just, whenever I'm in dummy, return to the diamond suit, since I still have a spade stopper with the ace. And also, I know which opponent it is that guards the diamonds, so I can sort of try to play against the other opponent later. And this whole finessing against ace and spades, we basically did that. We basically went back to the plan I laid out all along, which is play the 5 of spades from dummy and hope that East has the king. But when we do that after we played all the winners, it's a bit better because even if that finesse fails to West might be put under such pressure that he needs to isolate the king anyway before that, and then just drops the king under our ace of spades maybe later. And then we don't need to finesse anymore. Well, I like that. And it's actually not a very complicated strategy either. Basically, it's really just if you don't know exactly what to do, just especially in one suit, in this case spades, just keep our options open until the very end. So we could still play finesse against East. We could still duck a spade in the end. We could still just play the ace and hope for the king to drop. We had our options still available to us in the very end. Which not only is like a psychological thing, but it also puts the opponents under some real pressure when they have to discard earlier. So a 3-2 diamond break would be good, yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to duck this first diamond trick. That was never really an option to me since I didn't want West to switch to spades. And I pretty much assume that they explained that here. Yeah, just win it. And now unblock the hearts first. I mean, that's pretty much automatic since a blocked suit. If you have enough entries into the blocked hand and into the hand that blocks, which is south in this case, and also enough winners in that suit in general, just unblock it at the first opportunity. It's the most simple thing to do. So like out of South's hearts were high, while South didn't have a low heart to reach dummy, which is usually a bad thing for communication. So in order to resolve that issue, it's most likely the best to just immediately play those high cards that aren't accomplished with a low one. Yeah, and we can now test the diamonds with the king. That's the important step. Even though it seems sort of counterintuitive, because usually in no trump, you want to keep control in our suits and first duck a diamond. But I don't think it was right here, since then West just switches to spades and we are in trouble. And, well, even if we promote to diamond winners in West, we can actually still just play so that West maybe never makes a trick in the first place. If both defenders follow, yeah, the diamond provides the extra trick. And we can just give a diamond to the opponent, and the last diamond will be our 12th trick. No problem, we don't need spades anymore. And if East now discards, well, we know the threat in diamonds is with West. And now we can start to squeeze. If West has the king, he will be in trouble when we play our winners. And if East has the king, well, he's in a finesse position. Yeah, if we now play the last club, East is out of clubs. So I was actually curious about one thing. Why did... So East had more clubs than we did. East started with 4. So East discards a club on this trick. But if he has the king of spades, assume that. Because in this layout of the hands, East doesn't matter, since East will never make a trick in the first place, of course. But if East has the king of spades, why does he at this point discard a club and not a spade? Because I was sort of afraid that East in the end would have a club in the very last trick and not a spade, which he had to relinquish to my queen. Well, they don't really explain that, I'm afraid. But let's see, if East had like the king, well, he would be under pressure regardless, because he would need to make a further discard. But he could just discard 2 of his spades in that case, right? If East had started with the king 4 in spades, he could discard a spade on this king of diamonds. And he could also, when we play the 3 heart winners in dummy, on the last heart also discard a spade and keep 4 clubs. But I don't think it would have worked then. Since East still has the king covered, so East, whenever North plays the ace, East plays low, and if we play a second spade trick, East will make the king, and then he still has a club which he can cash, and doesn't need to return a spade. Well, maybe they explain later. I'm wondering. But yeah, in this layout, West has the king, and now we are in the situation that I mentioned. West is squeezed. So if West now discards a diamond, we just give him his diamond trick. Because he now has only 1 diamond trick and not 2. Yeah. And discovered West was down 4 cards in that suit. East is most likely to hold the king. Okay, but why do they do that immediately now? But why do they do that immediately now? Why not cash the hearts first, at least? I mean, that can't hurt at all, right? We can discard both of our diamonds easily from south, and we can also discard 1 spade easily. And at least that would put both opponents under some pressure when it comes to discards. And we did also even go further. We also cast the clubs first. So played 3 rounds of hearts, then 3 rounds of clubs, then crossed to the... Well, no, we did cross to the ace of spades. We crossed to the queen of clubs instead, since we wanted to keep the ace of spades for a later entry. And then we just cast the 3 hearts and cast the other 2 clubs. Well, and just put the opponents under pressure and see what develops. I mean, it's most likely they will discard all of their clubs, since the clubs also are nowhere near high. So, probably they will be both out of clubs after we cast all of our winners. And then, yeah, see if there was a diamond discard or not. And act accordingly. And if not, if not, well, we can't play diamonds anymore since West has 2 winners. So then we have to try spades. Cross to the ace of spades and lead a spade from dummy and hope that East has the king. And in case he has the king in a real bridge hand, it's overwhelmingly likely that if East has the king, he has kept spades all along and will be forced to return a spade to our queen. Alright, I'm sort of happy with the strategy. I don't really understand all details of it, and I don't also really understand why in the end they say you should actually just test the diamonds first, and if the diamonds don't split, just go for the spade finesse immediately. Yes, that's a very, very mundane strategy, but why not catch the other winners first at least? I don't really understand this. Alright then. Yeah, we sort of, I at least sort of understood this, although, yeah, possibly not really. But regardless, I need to do some other housekeeping things now. Have a nice evening.